Thank you very much. As mentioned by my president, there are several hindrances that prevent a lot of stakeholders from taking advantage of the opportunities in the agri sector. And one of them, surprisingly, are some of the policies within the sector itself as driven by government. I mean, you have agricultural policies that are either outdated or they are very, very sound but are not being implemented.
Okay.
Some of these gaps present become stumbling blocks to young people like myself and other interested stakeholders from taking advantage of the opportunities in the agri sector. Now, this is where the NAB sort of steps in as well, to have a holistic look at the different policies within agriculture and agribusiness, and how in cases where policies don't exist, we support its development. In places where the policies exist but are not being implemented or are not effective enough, we work with stakeholders to either modify or support their implementation. And I can give you a number of examples. Currently, there is no policy on climate smart agriculture.
Okay.
Young
smart
agriculture, yes. Young people are interested in trendy things, tech-driven, businesses. So agriculture and technology can have a fusion, and that's what's called climate smart agriculture. How we efficiently utilize technology, how we manage natural resources to get the most yield and the most revenue from agriculture. That's where you get the interest of young people. But there's no policy there. The NABG has now stepped in to work with stakeholders like the Ministry of Agriculture, like the Climate Change Commission, a number of donor programs to come up with a policy program that hopefully will be approved by the federal government and can be used. Another area is the lack of commodity standards and gradings. As mentioned by my president, some of Nigeria's agri products are rejected internationally because they are not either standardized, they are not graded, they are not sorted well. At the end of the day, a lot of Nigerian agribusinesses lose money because their products are rejected internationally. We stepped into that game as well to see how can we create a policy framework that ensures that commodity associations and agribusinesses standardize their products, grade them, sort them in a way that they reap the most value both domestically and internationally. So these two areas where policies do not exist, the NABG has stepped in to work on those areas. And for policy implementation, we're also doing the same, working with policy holders. For example, the National Agricultural Seed Council that had a policy that has been approved since 2022 but has not seen the light of day. The NABG is working with that council.
Is that part of the roundtable that you have?
Yes. So this
the roundtable, what is the highlight of the roundtable, and when is it coming up?
So the highlight of the roundtable is essentially these things I've talked about.
Okay.
To have a conversation between the private sector and the public sector and other stakeholders around how do we ensure policies remain responsive for agribusinesses in Nigeria, essentially. We're hosting that event this week at the Transcorp Hilton.
This week when?
On Friday the 21st at the Transcorp Hilton at 10 a.m.
So who will be involved, and what is the theme of the roundtable?
The stakeholders in agribusiness, mostly the public sector, the ministries, department, and agencies concerned with agriculture, business leaders in agribusiness, youth-led agricultural organizations, donor programs that are supporting agribusinesses are all invited to this forum where we have dialogues and do a deep dive on some of these agricultural policies that affect agribusinesses as a whole.